What's up guys, this is PelicanMan here with another Quest for the Holy Relic video. So uh, we did a practice league, testing some new changes since the astrolabe bans. I managed to go 5-0. So today we're going to run it through a proper league and see how we do. So we've made a few changes. Most notably, we've added some horizon canopies, we've got fetch lands here, a couple of temple gardens, a couple of spire of industry, so we've got a little green splash there. Trying out some Shepherd dunes in place of a couple of the basic planes. We've added a place of ginger roots. This is currently being tested over the Pure Steel Paladin slot. Just another 1-drop, another artifact for stuff like Glinthawk, so we'll see how that goes. And then in the Martyr Soul slot, we're actually trying a few Lurrus of the Dream Den. So as I explained in the last video, the main strategy of the deck is to get a Quest for the Holy Relic online. So this wants us to cast 5 creature spells to get it going. So we've got the Ornithopters and Memnites, which we can then play Glinthawk, bounce in the back to hand and replay them. So an Ornithopter and a Glinthawk is worth 3 creature summons rather than just 2. We've got a bunch of 1-drop support like Giver of Runes, Thraben Inspector, and now the Ginger Brutes. We've got the Stoneforge Mystics to support kind of the artifact theme we've got going on, or the enchantment theme, sorry. We've got Skyfisher, which kind of acts as a 2-mana version of the Glinthawk effect. And the idea behind Lurrus is it means we can potentially chump block with Ornithopters and Memnites, or if our opponent kills some of our creatures, we can recast them with Lurrus. So Lurrus is also potentially worth 2 summons like a Glinthawk would be. Still the same equipment suite. The Argentum Arm is the ideal quest target. The Batterskull is the ideal Stoneforge target. And sort of Fire and Ice kind of serves both roles. So the biggest change is we've added this little green splash. So we get to try a few things in the sideboard. Veil of Summer is one I want to try for the hand hate and control matchups. And then using Kasali Pride Mage instead of the disenchant effect. This also works nice with Lurrus because we can pop it and then recast it and reuse it. And another thing you'll notice with the sideboard is it's mostly one-offs now. So something I talked about in the last video was how we often do big sideboard swaps. We would bring in like a playset of something and like cut all the Ornithopters or all the Memnites or whatever. I think that was something that took me a while to work out in the Astrolabe build, which I actually don't think is the right way to sideboard with a more classic build without Astrolabes. So the plan is that we're actually going to keep our deck relatively focused, but say we want Aethersworn Canonist against Storm, we'll bring in one of them over like a Stoneforge Mystic or a Skyfisher, you know, bringing in a 2-drop for a 2-drop. If we want like a Soul Guide land that can replace a Ginger Brute, again our equipment swaps for equipment. I think the Veil of Summers I'll swap in for some of these because it's normally the grindier matchups. And then like if we want like Selfless Savior, that can come in over a Glinthawk or a Thraben Inspector or something. Yeah, so I did mention last time that I was considering trying a blue splash, which is more of a less of a splash, more of a like dedicated build, running a lot of blue cards, main deck, a lot of blue spot. I think the mono white list is actually very strong. I just want this little green splash to try out a couple of sideboard cards here that we don't really get otherwise in a mono white build. So with that said, we're going to take this to a league and see how we go. Join us for match 1. Alright, we found our first opponent for match number 1, so here we go. On the die roll, we would love to play first. This is not a good hand. We'll mulligan this very easily. Yeah, this hand doesn't do much either. I think I'm going to mulligan this away as well. Oh. Another hand that doesn't really do anything. I don't know that I can afford to go to 4. Depends how good these... No, I suppose these Ginger Brutes aren't ever going to be that impressive. We'll go to 4. Alright, we'll keep this 4. So back 1, 2... Need to put 1 more back, which I suppose will be the Ginger Brute. Okay, not the ideal start, but we'll see how we go. So main deck we have no green cards, so we can pretty easily just go for basic planes here. play out the quest, and because we're low on cards, I think we just have to kind of play out this Ornithopter and get this value while we can. Make sure our opponent can't do anything about it. Something I forgot to mention in the deck tech actions, we've also gone up a land because we're including Lurrus. So that's why previously we had 4 Martyr Souls and currently we've got 3 Lurrus in that slot. The 4th slot is taken up by another land. Okay, Island and Serum Visions from our opponent. So a blue deck of some description. Well, that was a pretty okay draw. Got another Ornithopter. And we'll play out a Giver of Runes. I mean, keeping Ornithopter might have been a mistake, since Gingerbread actually, you know, does something. But I think the payoff of, like, being able to draw Glenhawk and have value from this Ornithopter is reason enough to keep it. So we're now empty-handed, which isn't ideal. Okay, Waterlog Grove from the opponent. Allosaurus Rider, okay. Well, we have no interaction, so we're just going to let our opponent do their thing. I mean, we do have outs here. If our opponent can't win this turn... if our opponent can't win this turn, we have the option of drawing Glenhawk, being able to use our Gentle Armor to blow up the Grizzlebrand. Oh, here we go. Not really an ideal first match, but I mean, we can get some hands that can do stuff here. Well, they've got no cards left in the library, so I'm pretty sure we're dead here. And a Lab Maniac, and they just activate... Well, they can't activate Grizzlebrand, I suppose. Oh, no, they can activate Grizzlebrand. Alright. Very impressive from our opponent. So... Giant Killer could potentially kill a Grizzlebrand. Containment Priest seems very good. Canonist seems very good. I think that's it as far as sideboarding. I do want to bring in this sort of War and Peace as just another speedy option over Fire and Ice. I mean, I'm not really liking Stoneforges here, so I guess it's pretty easy to cut 2 of them for these 2 2-drops we brought in. And then we brought in a Giant Killer, so... I guess we can cut a 3-bit Inspector there. I mean, Lurrus isn't too impressive here either, really. Yeah, I think that's basically how we want to sideboard here. We'll go on the play again, hopefully find a better hand. This isn't the kind of hand we want in this matchup, so I'll mulligan. Oh, got to mulligan this as well. I mean, if we're going to get bad hands and mulligan into Oblivion, I'm happy that hopefully all the bad luck's happening here and not later on. Oh, this hand's not great either. We're going to keep. I'm just going to put both the Lurruses on the bottom. Oh, so rough. I'm just going to lead on Giver of Runes turn 1 in case we draw a quest for the Holy Relic on turn 2. We can get something going with the Glenhawk and Ornithopter at least. So they're currently on 5 cards as well. I mean, I was hoping to see, like, you know, a Containment Priest or either one Canonist at least, if we're not going to find a fast quest hand, but what are you going to do? Just play the Giver and pass back to our opponent, leading on planes because if we don't draw anything good, we'll just play a tap Temple Garden next turn. Yep, Serum Visions from our opponent. Still making decisions here. Seems like we've got a tough decision, whatever it is. Both cards on top, okay. Ooh. Lucked out a bit there. Drew our quest. Yes, pay 2 life here. Cast the Ornithopter. Followed up with Glinthawk. Recast Ornithopter. So this gives us Glinthawk as an out to draw next turn. Alright, we'll just get in with Giver of Runes. Even though Giver of Runes could potentially protect someone, I think the 1 damage is, I don't know, worth a little bit more. Okay, they've got a second land and they've passed right back to us. So this is an unimpressive Chef James. It would be nicer if this was a Horizon Canopy. Just get him for some damage. I mean, hopefully if we get in enough chip damage here, they might not be able to activate Grizzlebrand as many times as they would like to. Third land from our opponent. Yep, here's the Allosaurus Rider. Oh, okay, this is going to be Eldritch Evolution, yep. Okay, let's see what our opponent can do. They've got one more draw 7 available to them, which they're not going for, okay. Interesting. So we're going to give a Glinthawk Pro Black, I think. And get in for 2. That's probably not. Yeah, let's go for it. I probably should have left Glinthawk back as a blocker. So this puts them on 7. Which mostly serves to give them 0 activations pre-combat. They get to attack. I can block with the Ornithopter if I want to. Which I probably don't want to be honest. The second Giver, it makes it a little bit easier now. I can, you know, block with an Ornithopter and give it Pro Black. And still attack with the Glinthawk every turn. So if they're going to get it for 7 here, gain 7, and then probably draw 7. I'm pretty sure there's no advantage to me blocking this here. I don't think my opponent's going to win this game through damage. So up to 14, so they get 1 activation. Okay. I'm going to hold on to this in hand just because playing it out doesn't really do anything for us. So I can attack for 4 here, which puts them to 10, which means next turn I can attack for 4. Or I can attack for I'll attack for 3. So I attack for 3 here, puts them 11. next turn I can potentially attack them for 4 and put them to 7, or attack for 3 and put them to 8. But this leaves up the option to use Ornithopter as a blocker. Okay. We'll block. We'll give the Ornithopter Pro Black, which should stop them from gaining life. Yep, awesome. So Gingerbread could be an okay draw here. Would let us attack for 4 and hold up this interaction, so they wouldn't even have the 7 to gain. Also, that would give us an active quest, so then we're just off to the races. So we got 4. So yeah, we couldn't quite kill with Argentum Armor. We actually would kill with a Sword of War and Peace, though. With just a Glinthawk attack, so that's cool. Okay, they're going for it. They are dead to my current board. They've gone for a Summoners Pact. Okay, so that's not a good sign for us. Autochthon Worms, they're gonna... Yep, Nourishing Shoal, sure. Well, our opponent was smart. They held off until the last possible moment to attempt to go for it. I mean, I didn't necessarily have them dead next turn, but I had a lot of good draws to it. But I mean, last turn if I had drawn a creature, that would have been dead. Although my opponent probably doesn't necessarily know that. Well, it's certainly going deep. Just going to yield and let them have their fun. Okay, so there's only 4 cards left in library. So they need to have found their win condition now, or have found ways to draw the 4 cards and still be able to pay for their win con. Okay. I don't know why they need to gain more life there. Metamorphose, sure. Dig them 1 card deeper for free. Summoners Pact, sure, so they can now find... Oh. Sure, yeah. Okay, that was just getting 1 more card out of the deck, I assume. Huh. Yep. So this is going to be their Lab Maniac, I guess. Yep. And they can activate Grizzlebrand for the win. Nicely done, opponent. Alright, join us. We'll be back shortly for match number 2. Alright, we found an opponent for match number 2. Bit unlucky there in match number 1. Not only do we have to mulligan aggressively and not even see good hands, but we're versing a deck that really got to punish us a bit for those mulligans. Alright, we've on the die roll here. We will go first. Let's see someone to make up for the last round, please. We have to mulligan a no-lander, even though it was a very nice no-lander. I feel like we have to go to 5 here. This hand just doesn't do anything for us. Alright, we'll go to 5. Alright, keep this. We'll send back... So our plan is turn 1, 3, but it's turn 1, give it turn 2 Stoneforge. So... Because we're already trying for a mid-range plan, I don't think we can afford to keep the Lurrus. There is a thought to keep Batterskull, so we can grab a Sword of Fire and Ice with Stoneforge and still have the option of Batterskull. But I think with how land-light we are, we just have to put away the big drops there. Okay. Interestingly, we're almost punished for having Spire of Ministry in our deck here. Thankfully, Shepherd Dunes can also produce white. But I figure the 2 Spire of Ministry in my 18 land shouldn't punish me too often. I mean, we do keep a fair few 1-landers, but often it's because we have the artifact creatures and stuff, so Spire of Industry should get turned on. Alright, I'll play Giver of Runes because they can protect our Stoneforge. And see what our opponent's up to. Okay. I don't hate seeing Temple Garden with this kind of hand I've kept. Birds of Paradise, sure. Ooh, so now we draw the quest. I mean, because we've seen birds, I think we know that the mid-range plan should be good. But I'm still really tempted to get quest down. Although the problem is we can't actually get quest and Thraben Inspector down this turn. Because we need the Thraben Inspector down to provide the artifact to turn Spire of Ministry on. So I think that means we have to stick with the Stoneforge plan. Now they've got Birds of Paradise, so does that mean we want Sword of Fire and Ice? Well, not really, because no, we've got Giver, so we might be able to hit. I think we still just want Batterskull. We would not like to attack. Okay, followed it up with the basic planes. Eldritch Evolution, okay. So is this going to be like a toolbox? Oh, Devoted Druid, okay. So we should have gotten Sword of Fire and Ice. Memnite, okay. Let's shift plan a little here. Play out the quest. There's a very good chance we're still dead next turn, but we shall see. Even though I don't think there's any creature that we can draw next turn that'll let us get quest off, I think it's still worth shifting plans now that we know that this Batterskull is not as good. Yeah, I suppose we're just going to attack. No point in leaving these guys back at this point. Okay. It's going to be... Oh, an Eldamri's Call. Okay, sure. I will... They've got the Vizier, yep. This is one of those decks where I feel bad for my opponent. I don't want to make them go through all the motions, but I need to see how they're going to win. Okay, sure. That will be enough for me. Okay, so what can we do here? Containment Priest looks good. Cannon's probably fine. None of their creatures are big enough for giant killer. I don't think we want to bring in our anti-removal stuff. Or Yoke Champion doesn't do anything. Pure Steel Paladins, maybe too grindy. They shouldn't have any counter magic or hand hate for Veiler Summer. Can't think of any artifacts or enchantments that Casali wants to hit, and I can't think of a Grave Hate being relevant. I think Sword could potentially be fine, just as a way to get through Birds of Paradise. And maybe we just don't want Batterskull. And I also think we don't really care too much about Stoneforge. Like, these are just better. Keep some Stoneforges in so we can find like Sword of Fire and Ice, I guess. Alright. Yes, we'd like to play first. Show me the hands you were showing me last week, please. Show me some like 2-land, across the Holy Relic kind of stuff. Oh, they've got a Lurus Companion. Okay. So what does hand do? Turn to Stoneforge. We can't really stop their combo heavy hands. I think I'll mulligan this once. Much better. Awesome. Oh, that's kind of rough. We'll keep bottom of quest. So we've got to play out the Memnite to turn on Spire. So we can play our quest. And because we've only got one land, we can't really afford to wait a turn on that. This is pretty rough, but there are draws that get us out of this. And that can help us win this matchup that's probably going to be a little fast. I just think, you know, being able to, on turn 4 on the play, maybe isn't fast enough to be able to disrupt that combo with the Sword of Fire and Ice. Okay. So they might not have the combo, they might have kept just on the strength of having 2 Mishra's Bulbils here. That was a good draw. Just a free counter on our quest. Play out a 3-man Inspector. So if we draw a land next turn, quest will be active. We'll get him with Memnite for a bit of free damage. So yeah, next turn, Glinthawk is an active quest, land is an active quest, another 0-drop's an active quest. Oh, they played out of Vizier, that's not a good sign for them. And a Giver of Runes, okay. Woohoo, we did it. Alright. Wait. Sorry, I'm still 1 creature off, that's... I mean, I'm still going to play these out. Oh. Whoops. Didn't realize that trigger was still in the stack. Play that one. Yeah, so if this had been an all-land, we would actually have quest active right now, so that's something to remember. We don't even get to attack. So now we have to get rid of Giver before we can interact with that combo. Okay, they put Lurus into the hand, sure. Okay. That is a creature. That's good. I think I want to blow up land here. It's tough. I mean, because I could kill the giver and then the lures bring back the giver. Hmm. Let's kill the giver so we get to attack with everybody, I think. I mean, they can protect the vizier, and the vizier can eat someone, but I think the opportunity to attack with everyone here... Oh, okay. They've conceded to that. Awesome. So... we saw Lurus there. So I think that means we want Remorseful Cleric. I don't think I want Soul Guide Lantern, just because it doesn't really help us with that combo, but I think the Remorseful Cleric over, like, another Stoneforge is fine. Because, yeah, we're not really excited by Stoneforge hands. Whereas, like, and it's, you know, it's still a 2-drop that is only one with one creature summon, whereas the Soul Guide is actually taking away from a creature summon potentially. Well, unless I cut Sword of Feast and Famine for it. Well, I think that's pretty good actually. Let's do that. So our opponent gets to be on the play here, which is a little scary. But that's I'm pretty happy to see that hand, to be honest. Yes. We've got a quest, we get to keep a 3-lander, one of them's a Horizon land, we've got graveyard interaction, we've got a little bit of combo interaction. It's not as good as a fast combo hand really, but it has the potential to still be a fast combo hand. That extra land draw wasn't great. Okay. Skyfish is a good draw. So I think we're going to play out 2 spells here. I don't know why I didn't do this before, but I'm going to deck them a little. I didn't bring in any of my green spells, so this is just going to find a basic plains. The reason we're doing this is so we don't get stuck under our own Canonist. Next time we can Skyfisher, bounce Thread Inspector, replay Thread Inspector. What is this? Oh, sure. This is probably going to get Devoted Druid. Yep. I'll just take away Eldamri's Call, I suppose. Doesn't really matter. Yeah, so we've got 1 counter request. Next time we can put 2 more on by Skyfisher, Bounce Inspector, Replay Inspector. but judging by what our opponent's doing, we're more likely to play out the Canonist to stop them from being able to combat next turn, hopefully. I don't understand why so many opponents have upkeep stops when they're decks that don't really seem like they want to do anything on upkeep, and also they're not ready to just pass priority on upkeep. It's a little, I don't know, a little not great sportsmanship wise. Not that I think my opponents are intentionally slowing the game or anything. So I think I have to play Canonist so that they can't go off next turn. But if they don't, so they don't have Vizier, right? So they don't have Vizier. If I play this Canonist, next turn I can't Skyfisher and then redeploy a Thraben Inspector. Well, the two cards in hand need to be exactly a Vizier and exactly a way to win off it. So I think this turn we just want to do this. Come on, opponent. Like, all they can do is activate their Giver Rune, so I don't know why they're tanking so hard on letting me have my abilities resolve. Maybe they think I can bounce one of their permanents with it or something. Maybe they're not understanding what the card does. I'm not sure. Thraben Inspector. All right. Yep, there's the Vizier. Do you have the WinCon opponent? Okay, 12 mana. Is this a finale? Yep. Okay, you got it, opponent. Alright, so that was match number 2. We are currently 0-2. Join us shortly for match number 3. Alright, let's get match number 3 underway. Bit of bad luck in those first 2 rounds. I mean, in the mono white list, we had, I think we had 4 Parcel Exiles and 4 Containment Priests, and they would have just short up those 2 matchups a lot more, but what can you do? I think I'm going to mulligan based on the fact that I have, 3 0 drops and a second Stoneforge, and these kind of don't all work together. I'll keep this based on the strength of Stoneforge Mystic. I think we can. I'm going to bottom the Ornithopter, I think. Yeah, Skyfish can bounce to Raven Inspector, that's fine. Oh. Bottom the Ornithopter. There we go. Spy Bluff Canal. Swift Spear, okay. Cool, cool. think I still want to thin out my deck a little. Question is whether we want to just chump block with Throw to Space straight away. I think we'll hold off. The potential value of bouncing with the Skyfish I think is too good. So I believe Stoneforge Mystic should still get Batterskull because we should get to 5 lands here. No, let's not block. Light up the stage? I was tempted to block so that they could light up the stage, yeah. So like either I prevented damage or I prevent the light up the stage. That's fine. Play out Stoneforge. We will try and block Throw Inspector now that we've drawn a second Throw Inspector. We will find the Batterskull, which they should have trouble answering in game 1. So this says that they need to deal with my Stoneforge Mystic because they can't afford for me to get the Batterskull down next turn. Alright, we will block. I'm going to make them spend a spell on Stoneforge here. Yep, that is going at the Stoneforge, fair enough. Yep, and light up the stage for them. Ugh. So we could always play the Skyfisher and bounce the Clue, because we're gonna have a second Clue anyway. I think I just need to keep the bodies in play, so let's play the Throw Inspector. Play the Skyfisher. And back to our opponent. So that light up stage hitting 2 free spells is very frightening. So I think, yeah, just getting as many bodies in play as possible this turn was important. Okay. Yeah, just block and block. I mean, they're definitely going to cast at least one spell here. Yep. Another Soul Sky Mage, sure. Alright. So we can potentially play that sort of Fire and Ice here. I don't think that's important. I think what's more important is the Batterskull. I mean, I'm dead to any spell next turn. So I think we'll start off by drawing a card. Well, Lurrus would have been a good draw. So any spell kills us here. Otherwise, I don't actually know that the Batterskull gets us back into it next turn, but see if our opponent's got a spell. Yep. Alright. Game number 2. So I don't mind sort of War and Peace for the life gain. Baron and Forge Tender seems good. Giant Killer could actually do some work. Canada seems really good. Holy Relic Champion seems really good. Yeah, let's stick with those. So Stoneforge to be able to get stuff's pretty good. Loris is good because of the life gain, so I think the Skyfishers have to come out here for the other 2 drops. Now as far as for these 1 drops, I think the Arabian Inspector is slow enough, and the sort of War and Peace. I actually don't hate Fire and Ice in the matchup. I think we can afford to get rid of our Armor because maybe it is just Fire and Ice. It's tough. It's very tough. I mean, we definitely want sort of War and Peace. The question is whether it's taking this slot or this slot, I guess. Because I don't think we want an extra equipment in our deck. So just blowing up lands doesn't really do anything. But with that said, it blows up creatures definitely, whereas Fire and Ice, they can pro us away from it. Yeah, let's cut Fire and Ice. We'll just upgrade the sword slot. We'll play first. We're keeping because we have a Holy Relic Champion. This is a little rough, but oh well. Play a Giver Rune so this can protect a bunch of our other dudes. Also, I'm pretty sure our opponent was okay. I'm pretty sure our opponent was, what I read, wasn't splashing blue or black or white or whatever else. That's a pretty alright draw. We can save a bit of life this way. Okay. Holy Relic Champion. I think I can hold off on Ornithopters. Currently all they're worth is 2 life. Oh, Sprite Dragon. Okay. So they are the blue splash. Not that I think that changes any of our decisions. Okay, Skyfisher I think was a pretty good draw. Cast Ornithopter. Play another Ornithopter. I think we'll just play out our entire hand. We might actually, I think I'll play the Thraben Inspector, bounce the Thraben Inspector, and not redeploy because the clue tokens could actually mean something here. Play the Skyfisher. Okay, we'll just get him for one with our Relic Champion, I guess. So now our opponent has to play 2 spells to get the Sprite Dragon above the Skyfisher. If they do, we'll just like start throwing Ornithopters in front of it. Okay, it's a start opponent. glad I brought in Giant Killer. They braided an Ornithopter, sure. And it's going to go for the Skyfisher, sure thing. So I think we'll actually let this damage through. Because assumedly that thing's just going to get bigger next turn, so it'll force them to either spend a remove spell on the Ornithopter or the Ornithopter can block. That was a pretty alright draw. Their lands are still painful. I could draw a card and play a Giver. Yeah, I don't hate that. I don't think there's any advantage playing the Temple Garden untapped this turn. So we're going to leave the Ornithopter back again just for the opportunity for Giver of Runes to potentially untap and be able to protect it. Okay, that's probably... Let's go for the Ornithopter, okay. And I guess it makes sense. But they've got to kill the Giver of Runes as well, surely. That's a pretty good draw. So we're going to start with drawing a card off the canopy. Sure. We'll play it for the life gain. Okay, and the Forge Tender. Just get in for one again. Oh, and do yield through turn actually. They've got all their mana up and over Forge Tender and a Giver. Yes, I'd assume their hand is full of nothing right now. So what's that, 6? Yeah, I think we've got to let this damage through this turn. Next time we can prevent it with Baron and Forge Tender. If we could draw a fly, that'd be really, really good. Yeah, Soul Sky Mage means nothing to me. Okay, so I'm going to fetch to thin out my deck a little. Just going to get planes. Draw a card. Okay, no flyer, but Giver of Runes is a fine draw. So, our only good attacks are the Auric Champion and the Forge Tender, I think. Well, I think I will leave the Forge Tender back just to block this Soul Sky Mage sack to prevent the Sprite Dragon's damage. I think I'd rather that than having to throw away, like, even throw away Memnite, I don't think is correct. Okay. Huh. No blockers. So that should prevent all the damage that deals. Wonderful. What do they got for us? That's a hard castle out of the stage. I'll take that, it's a win. So Lurrus would be a good draw. Any flying creature would be a good draw. Actually, Lurrus would be a fantastic draw. I could just cast Forge Center every turn. Glenhawk will do. This also gains a bit of life, which is nice. Okay, this could be a long one here now. I think we managed to stabilize in a way that's tough for our opponent to break up our board. We get to use Glenhawk to block Sprite Dragon and give runes to protect Glenhawk. We've also got a backup giver of runes. Okay. Levidat's going for Glenhawk. Oh. Okay. For a red, please. Yeah, this made that a lot scarier for me. Because next turn they can also lava dart stop. Oh, okay. This is also going to be a problem. So we kind of want a second flyer now. Okay. Blockers are declared. Give you pro red as well. Bit late for you, Quest for the Holy Relic. We'll play it anyway and do the same thing again, I guess. The unfortunate thing is our Earth Champion can't attack anymore because Stormwing Entity is blue, not red or black. Oh, okay. Bedlam Reveler is scary. Oof. Oof. That is not what we wanted to say. So I have the option here to willingly take all this damage to kill this. So if we block this, we take like 4 and then... Well, we've got 1 card in hand, so yeah, I think we've got to... Just got to block with the Glenhawk. Yep, just got to take the rest of it. Okay. It's not too bad. That gives us a redraw. Oh, Glenhawk, that is a good draw as well. We're getting somewhere. Yes, I'll return Memnite. So not only do we get to gain a bunch of life here, we've got another flying blocker now. And we've got up to 3 counters on our quests. Okay, so I think the Auric Champion has to stay back now because there's two real threats that it wants to block. What do you got for me, opponent? Swift Spear, okay. It's a very congested board here. Okay. No, if they have any spell that just ruins me. I can't double block here and just protect them both from blue. Brew blue. Brew red. Gingerbread, huh? Okay, so we can block with Gingerbread and sack it to gain 3 life, which is nice. Oof, another Bedlam Reveler. Well, our opponent's certainly doing stuff. I feel like they haven't hit a lot of spells though. They've hit mostly creatures, which is really good for my Auric Champion draw. Okay. Blockers, so you there. I think I'm willing to throw a Thraben Inspector away. Actually, let's force them to have 2 spells here. Can I afford to... You know what, let's go for it. Okay, those are my blockers. I'll give you Pro Red. I'll give you Pro Red as well. you know what? I'm gonna do this. And yield through the turn. So they need another spell here. Or we get to actually punish their attacks a little. That's cool. And we drew Ornithopter. That's cool. We get our Gentamama. We will equip to Holy Relic Champion, I believe. Yep, nice. Alright, going to game number 3. So they are blue, but that doesn't mean Veil or someone does anything. I think that means we actually want sort of Fire and Ice potentially. Again, Lurrus looked like it would have been really good there. Maybe Selfless Save is worth it actually. Alright, let's bring in Selfless Savior for another 3, but inspect I think we will bring in sort of Fire and Ice. I think our Gentamama looks really, really strong in that kind of scenario. I think because the Pro Blue is actually pretty relevant against the Storming Entity and the Sprite Dragon. Let's just cut a Skyfisher, I guess. Yeah, that seems fine. Alright, we are keeping, I think. Yeah, we'll keep. And hope Stoneforge Mystic's good enough. Well, with the turn on Giver of Runes, I assume Stoneforge Mystic's good enough. I'll hold on to the Ornithopter in case I had a request or something. Okay. Goodbye, Giver. What's this going to be, a post-combat lat at the stage? Gross. There's another lat at the stage there. Okay. So, I think we're still going to play Stoneforge. Get sort of War and Peace. And pass back to our opponent. I don't think there's any advantage to playing the Ornithopter Memnite yet. We have Quest, we have Holy Relic Champion. So yeah, there's the potential to get punished for playing them out too early. I mean, next time we can always play sort of War and Peace and play them both as blockers. And the turn after we play Ginger Brute and suit it up straight away. Oh, Sprite Dragon's not great for us. Yep. Huh. So now we draw a quest. We only have 3 creatures to cast, but I do want to cast them. But if I spend this turn playing sword, the next time I can play ginger brute and immediately suit it up, because assumably they're going to tap out to deal with my critters. It's tough. So what does Quest get us? Quest just gets us Argentum armor, which honestly doesn't look bad right now. Yeah, you know what? I think Quest is going to give us the biggest upside here. Always yes, always yield. I suppose the other nice thing about this is it means we don't need to tap our Horizon Canopy this turn. We could potentially get in for one with Ginger Brute, which I think I'm actually interested in, so that maybe they ignore it and don't like throw any removal at it. Like that they try and take down these guys first because they're potentially going to be able to block. Which means we might be able to still eat the Ginger Brute and gain some life. I mean, we could also get Sword of Fire and Ice, which would still be very, very good. Potentially take down like the Soulscar Mage or something. They drew a Fiery Islet, so that's good for us. Yep, they shot down the Ornithopter. I'm just going to yield through the turn because I can't really do anything anyway. Do I want to block with Memnite? I don't think I do. Okay. So this is a problem. I think it just has to play that sort of War Piece, or I can hold up Ginger Brute activation. If I play it sort of War and Peace, then I can equip next turn. I think that has the highest upside because it means we can potentially get out of the situation. Although we have a lot of live draws for getting this quest off online. This is 3. I'm on 6. Literally any burn spell kills me. You know what? We can draw a card and do this. So let's do that. Does that change anything? I don't believe it does. I think we have to eat the Ginger Brute to stay alive. And we need both of these guys to be potential blockers. I mean, they cracked their Fiery Islet last turn, so maybe they're low on gas. I just don't think I can put myself dead to a single burn spell. I don't think that's smart. There's a gut shot. Where's that going? Going at me, okay. Do they pay life for that? That's a little scary. Oh, okay. Swift Sphere, okay. It's not the worst. So that's 5. So I can block here, sack it and live. Okay. We live on 3. And we drew poorly. So play Stoneforge, shooter up. Sort of fire and ice does nothing. No, we're just dead. GG's opponent. Alright, so that was match number 3. We are 0-3 now. We'll see if we can scrounge up a nice 2-3 to finish this off. So join us for match number 4. Alright, we found an opponent and let's get match number 4 underway. See if we can recover this a little bit. Not the kind of hand we were hoping for, so we'll mulligan. Again, Spire of Industry punishing us. Yeah, we got a mulligan. Much better. We'll keep. Just put 2 cards on the bottom, so I don't think I'm going to get to draw off 2 clues here, and I think the Gingerbread's unblockability is nice, so we'll just do that. Covenant of Souls naming human. Okay. This shouldn't be a too bad matchup for us. Okay, if we draw lands, Lurrus isn't the worst draw. We can quite easily throw away these creatures and just recast them. I assume our opponent's currently reading our card. And we will cast on up to here. Just potentially keep this noble from attacking or whatever could matter. And back to our opponent. Yep, I'll just pass through their turn as well. I think it's a pretty good sign for us that they don't have an Aether Vial. So this could be Meddling Mage here, which would be tough for my opponent to be able to name correctly. Oh, what's this? Oh, Kudro. Okay, what do you do again? Okay, cool. Land was a good draw. Play Gingerbrute. Play Thraben Inspector. And we are in full-on chump block mode here because next time we draw a land, we can play Lurrus and play the Ornithopter. So this Ornithopter is ready for action. More than willing to block. Although his ability is a little scary. Ah, that's a freeboot is not very nice. Wait, can they not? Oh, they can't take it. Okay. Ah, they're just going to name with the stupid Meddling Mage. Stupid. Oh dear. So oh yeah, whatever, we'll just block with Thraben Inspector. 4 damage is 4 damage. And suck it, opponent. We have drawn perfect. be blocked. Let's go get our Argentum armor. We'll put it on our Ginger Brute now. I need to kill General Kudro because that last ability threatens to deal with my Ginger Brute. Goodbye, General Kudro. That deals 7, so my opponent's got 2 more turns. So they kind of need another General Kudro and a land here to be able to immediately deal with this Ginger Brute. Do you have the Kudro? Come on, opponent. No. They actually have it. Okay, no blockers. Are they really not going to activate Kudro? No, maybe they just wanted to attack first. Maybe they'll cast him now. Or they'll activate him now. Maybe getting rid of these two. Okay. You can't. Okay. So they can't let me get my declare attack trigger, but they are letting me get my declare attack trigger. So maybe they don't realize he has another line of text. I'm very confused. I think they've just realized they can stop this. Maybe they also didn't realize that it was just upon attack declaration here, which is a common mistake people make. Whenever the equipped creature attacks, I get to destroy target permanent, so you have to do it before I get the opportunity to declare my attacker. Because no matter what they do here, even if they do activate General Kudro's last ability, this ability is still in the stack and it's still going to destroy General Kudro. Okay, so they've sacrificed General Kudro and Noble Hierarch. Yeah, nothing I can do about that. Let's just crack the clue. Okay. That's a pretty good draw. So, I mean, my opponent recovered from that mistake as best they could, because I'm pretty sure that was a mistake. Like, I don't think they should let me get that attack trigger, because then they have to sacrifice General Kudro, which I don't think they wanted to sacrifice him as part of that. They're just gonna draw some cards here off their lands, maybe. Yep. I can yield through the turn here. Well, good news is we've still got a relatively intact graveyard. Oh, piss off. This is why humans was such a strong deck for so long. Oh, they can't take so much. That's right. They can't take creatures. I was gonna say they get to look at your hand and strip a little here, and then once they know your hand, they get to punish it with Meddling Mage. Okay. Play Stoneforge. I don't know that I'm interested in Batter Skull. I think I just want sort of Fire and Ice so that I can shoot down this Meddling Mage at some point. I don't think it's worth trading my Glinthawk for one of the freebooters, which is what would happen if I attacked with it. They would just double block and I would kill one of them. They would kill my Glinthawk. Because alternatively, the Glinthawk will keep either of these from attacking, and the Meddling Mage, honestly. Because Glinthawk traded with Meddling Mage is really good for me because I've got Lurrus and they know about it. Alright, opponent. You've got another draw in your Waterlogged Grove, although I don't think anything you draw will do much off 1 mana. Phantasmal Image, what's... Okay, so it's gonna name the sword, I guess? Stoneforge Mystic, sure. Already played it, buddy. They've got another one? Okay. That's annoying. Let's do this. Put this into play. I'm going to equip here. So this is going to force their freebooters to block. Maybe I don't want to do that, actually. Oh, they conceded. That's good. Okay. Sideboarding against humans. I think Giant Killer could be good. This turns off Aether Vial, which is nice. I think I want Canonists. Oh, Auric Champions pretty good. And Pure Steel could potentially be fine too. So for humans, I think we can afford to cut a Giver of Runes to make room for the Giant Killer. What else? Lurrus looked okay. If I could ever get it under a Meddling Mage, that is. Honestly, I think all my equipment's fine. I think I'm happy cutting Skyfishes here to bring the Containment Praise and the Auric. The question is whether I want the Pure Steel or not. I think it's worth it. Just to be able to like get a little bit of card advantage here. So I think it's better than a Skyfish, alright? Or maybe better than third Lurrus. I think Lurrus might be too slow. Plus, this hurts that turns off their Meddling Mages a little bit, you know, gives just less like congestion here that they can easily break up. Silver Spirit I don't care about. Canonist, Cleric. Yeah. Yeah, that looks good. Alright. If any of these cards is a quest, this would be fantastic. We're going to Mulligan. Yeah, honestly, I'm pretty happy to keep this and just bottom an Ornithopter. Turn 1 Glinthawk. Turn 2 probably nothing. but we can draw stuff hopefully. I mean, that's not really what we want to see because that potentially represents their faster starts, but thankfully I've got the giant kill, so here's hoping we can actually we can get to 3 mana without opponent meddling maging our giant killer. Okay, yes. I'll just leave the Ornithopter in hand. That's probably wrong, because they're like a meddling mage it, I get. I don't know, I suppose I don't care if they meddling mage naming Ornithopter. It's just a waste of a meddling mage then, isn't it? Okay, Stoneforge, that's pretty heads up. I'll 100% trade with your opponent. Okay. Just play this. I don't think it's crazy to hold these Ornithopters and just, you know, because like they can't attack with the meddling mage because I'm happy to trade there. This Champion Parish is going to get eaten by Chop Down next turn, hopefully. Oh, Thales of 10, okay. That's fine. Well, Champion of the Parish is finally big enough that I can chop it down, which is cool. No, I don't want to block. Okay. Gingerbrute. Okay, that's cool. Now, I mean, I think I'm happy for Glenhawk to potentially trade with this Thales Lieutenant. Like, they have to cast exactly Thales Lieutenant. Like, another Thales Lieutenant to get this above Glenhawk, I think. Or have 2 1-drops, that also works. Otherwise, I'm pretty happy to trade my Glenhawk for this Thales Lieutenant here. Yeah. Because, I mean, if I'd attacked, they would have attacked with this, and I think they're the aggressor here, so I need to do whatever I can to preserve my life total, even though it seems weird not attacking with Glenhawk. Chop, chop. I mean, anytime you want to give us a quest for the Holy Relic deck, that would be fine by me. That's kind of the exact opposite of what I wanted. I think I'm going to take this turn to just cast a Sword of Fire and Ice. And I suppose we can cast both Ornithopters here. Just threaten them as blockers. Yeah, still attacking with Glenhawk, just keep as many of these back as possible by threatening trade. And also, if they don't want to trade, the next time I get to equip Sword of Fire and Ice and start shooting shit down anyway. Image, sure. Copying Thales Lieutenant, assumedly. Yep. Okay. We're a little bit behind now. So next time we're gonna equip sword, play the giant killer. I think I'm just blocking here and here. we draw? Land's not too bad. Okay. Go to combat. Attack. I mean, this isn't the best attack, but come on. Let's get to kill the Thali's lieutenant at least. Take away one potentially big threat. Did I not? I should still get to draw a card, right? I'm very confused. Very, very confused. I was hoping like I could potentially draw 0 to creature there, or a quest for the Holy Relic or something. I mean, just because that died, that... Well, I suppose there was only one target to the effect fizzled. That makes sense. Okay. So I have to block that one and one of these two to go to 1. That's so bad. The fact that was a Phantasmal Image was actually worse for me. I mean, I don't think there's anything I can draw, but come on. I suppose I just shouldn't have attacked with the Glint Hawk because it gets threatened to eat this. Yeah. Not much we can do about that. I ran out of one of the more aggressive starts there. Which, nothing my sideboard really helps me deal with, I don't think. I mean, maybe Cannon Test is good. I don't think Cannon Test is good. I'm on the play. Canonist might actually be good. Let's bring in Canonist. Cut the Skyfishes. Bring the Lurus back in. See how that goes. I'll play first. I'll keep, based on the fact that I can't rip this Stoneforge out of my hand. Okay, got to noble their opponent. An Aether Vial, okay. Well, Canonist isn't really going to stop the Aether Vial start. Yep, okay. Just play Stoneforge Mystic. Oh yeah, we're getting Basilisk. We already got the sword here. Do I want to play out something? One of these? No, not really. This makes Quest a very good top deck still. Okay. Solid opponent, very solid. Yeah, I mean, our best bet's still to just deploy the Battle Skull. Drawing a land would have been nice. I would have been happy to play at this Thread Inspector or potentially hold up Giant Killer. Noble, sure. 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 Okay, choosing not to attack. Yeah, it's the Battle Skull. Okay, Lurus means I'm pretty happy to start playing some of these out. I think I'm going to play out the 3-bit Inspector. Oh, that's wrong. No, I should have held up Stoneforge activation to deploy the Sword of Fire and Ice. That's wrong. The fact that it didn't attack makes me think this Battle Skull's good. I think because I didn't hold up activation to like load up this Germ token, I think that means we are getting in here. If that is 2-drop, surely they attack into it. Yeah, cool. I think I'll hold the Ornithopter. Would be nice to draw some lands at some point. Opponent's got a Violent 3 now, so I feel like this Battle Skull is less likely to have good blocks here. Okay, so this is probably a Mantis Rider then if they're doing this now. It's a Reflector Mage. So they're probably bouncing my Germ then. Yep. Okay. Oh, gross. Gross. That's disgusting. Yeah, I'm pretty happy to block with both. Another Stoneforge, huh? Yeah, that only gets a Gentle Armor now. Ugh, there's just no good options here. I haven't even drawn a third land to like be able to chop down something. And we're playing this sort of Fire and Ice isn't even that good anymore. I also think I need to draw something good off this clue. Like even a land would be good here. I don't know how bad that is. I mean, it's pretty bad because I've played out all my shit now because I've been waiting for this for 4 turns. Yeah, it's just a very poorly timed quest. Oh my goodness. Got another Reflector Mage. Yep, going to be on Stoneforge. This is why I added the 18th land, so that I wouldn't have this happen where I get stuck with like Lurrus in my hand and all this. I might just be dead now. So it's 16, 19. I think it leaves me on 1. I have no creatures to block with game. Thank you though. Yep, I go to 1. This one's yep. Well done, opponent. Alright, so that is 0-4 with our new build of quests. Well, let's see if we can perfectly mirror the last time we get an 0-5, I guess. Join us for match number 5. Alright, let's get this over and done with. We found an opponent for match number 5. I mean, we've gone 0-4 so far, but it hasn't been too bad. Like our first match we went 0-2, but the rest of them we managed to win a game during each of them. So it is what it is. We get to go first for our last match here, and that's a really good hand. We'll keep that. This is a turn 3 quest on the play. Which is kind of why you play the deck, is for the turn 3 quests. Turn 2 quest is possible, but it's asking a lot. This is more so what you're going to see is the turn 3. So we've kept our 7. We're waiting on our opponent to decide what they're doing with their mulligan. You know, it'd be nice. Give me Tron right now. Let me turn 3 on the play, get quest active. Well, I've kept 7. No fear, I'm just going to play this Ornithopter. I think in the dark it's better to get the quest trigger when you can. I don't exactly expect my opponent to turn one like red source lightning bolt kill Ornithopter or anything. Even though we kind of do need it for this Glenhawk to be okay, but it is Tron, okay. The reason I said that is because they were taking so long on keeping their 7. Oh, that is the worst draw possible by a long margin. I mean, the fact that we already had the sword was kind of rough. This just... You wouldn't expect that you get so punished by your own draw step. We have such good hand. This is a matchup where we need this kind of hand. And we got it. And our deck just punishes us with our draw step. So our only equipment left in the deck is our Batterskull. So that's what we get to search for with quest now. Our opponent has the turn 3 Tron. So gross. I just like the fact that both of these is just so punishing. There's just not much you can do about that. I mean, I could have mulliganed because we had this in hand, but you only do that if you have this in hand because this is the tutor target. Although I guess we've been quote unquote lucky in these two leagues and that we haven't been punished by the drawing out Gentum Armor bit. I mean, I've run two in the past because of that, so that even if you draw one, there's still one in the deck somewhere, but then you're just increasing your chances of drawing an Argentum Armor, and I don't really like it. I think the London Mulligan did a lot for this deck in letting us... Are they Bluetron? Okay. This might be okay then. I think the London Mulligan did a lot for us in letting us only go down to one Argentum Armor, because if we draw an opening hand, if we've mulliganed at all, we have to put it on the bottom. It's awesome. Because if you're on your 7, you mulligan to 6. If that 7 includes Argentum Armor, it's actually better that it's a mull to 6 than if you'd gotten to keep 7. Okay, our opponent's passing back to us, so... What are you doing, opponent? Well, this is another thing. A lot of times you can do it in your opponent's... You can activate question your opponent's end step to just make sure you don't draw your Argentum Armor. Now, it doesn't matter who I choose here because it's going to move to the Glinhawk and then Living Weapon's going to resolve and drag it back off. Okay. I said okay. Now I guess there might be a reason for them to be scared of quests, so we'll just play out another one. Maybe they think that I chose to get Batterskull rather than being forced into it. But yeah, like the potential for like if you get up to 5 counters but everyone's summoning sick, you'll have to wait a turn to go off. So rather than waiting till you're like, that's gross. Sure. Rather than running the risk of drawing your Argentum Armor, you can always crack in your opponent's end step. Okay, opponent, you've got my turn. There is literally nothing they can do with my turn here. They can play quest and that's it. So they're probably just going to tap both my... Well, they don't need to tap. They just need to pass back to themselves here. They essentially just played a 10 mana time walk. Yeah, opponent, my hand sucks. What of it? Yeah, they're just tapping me out and passing back to themselves. If anything, this is good for me because they're just burning clock. So how's your 10 mana time walk, opponent? Sure. It's nice I didn't even have a third land for them to be able to like bounce my Batterskull and punish me. Like literally none of my cards do anything except for attack now. Ooh. This big old ballista. Sundering Titan, sure. You get to take down your island and my plains. Nice. I mean, that's really good. So if they don't do anything, they're dead next turn. Because So this drops them to 6. Next turn I'm attacking for 8 because I'm going to give this pro colourless if they leave the Sundering Titan back as a blocker. You got to draw some good opponent. You need to hit like a card or an Ugin or something right now. Okay. Can't do that because then the battle skill falls off. That was a mistake. Yeah, because I gotta be able to give her up to be able to like protect these two, which are my actual win con now. Her opponent's certainly digging. So they need to be able to deal with all 3 of these creatures now. I'm glad I realised that before I, went too deep. So I give this germ protection from colourless, this Battleskull's colourless, so it can't equip the germ. So the Battleskull falls off and the germ would fucking die. Oh, we're just getting the turn back. Ooh. Let's see. I mean, they can't like cryptic us or anything. Yes. Awesome. Whew. We got there despite drawing our Argentum armor. Okay. So versing Blue Tron. So we want Veil of Summers. I don't know. What else? I don't think we want Giant Killer. Fortune doesn't do anything. Selfless Savior, I guess, is fine. Candace doesn't do anything. Priest, I don't believe, does anything. I don't think they use the graveyard. Yeah, I could say potentially wanting Selfless Spirit. Archim doesn't do anything. Kasali seems good. Pure Steel potentially could be okay. And I think we want to upgrade to sort of War and Peace here. Although Pro Blue could be a thing. But I just think this has potential to kill them quicker. I don't think I'm too scared about the blue. So I don't really want to cut any of my 0-drops because it's Tron, so I want to be able to keep my speed. I think we'll go to Giver of Runes for the Selfless Savior. I think it's probably just Stoneforge Mystics we're cutting, but I think trim like 2. And then maybe we just cut Lurrus altogether. Lurrus is probably too slow. I just haven't been impressed with Lurrus either, so let's just cut them. Alright, and let's go. Game number 2 against Blue Tron. Tron is definitely one of our worst matchups. But I mean, I think Blue Tron isn't one of our worst matchups, so that's cool. We're gonna mulligan, try and find a better hand. I'm happy to go to 5, and we'll keep. I think we'll keep 1 land. I'm assuming Giver's going to be better. Although I do need to find creatures, so I think drawing a card off the clues probably potentially has more upside. Yeah, like Green Tron or... I suppose I'll draw this Tron's too bad. It's mostly Green Tron that we have an issue with. So my opponent being on Blue Tron makes me feel a little better. So we've got a pretty okay looking hand. Like next time we draw a Glinthawk, we're off to the races. We draw specifically Glinthawk. That's fine. I think even if we don't, the fact that our opponent's on Blue Tron means we might get an extra turn. The important thing is we've got creatures down now, so our opponent can't really do too much about these, so I can always put an Argentum Armor on one of them. And yeah, being Blue Tron, they've gone for a base Garland instead of continuing the Tron, which also could just mean they don't have another Tron base, which is probably more likely. Okay. Giver of Runes was a good draw. Just another 1-drop we get to deploy. I think I'm just going to get it with the Memnite and see what happens, and then deploy Giver post combat. Okay, now I'll play out Giver of Runes. So now any creature's a good top. They're countering this? Okay, sure. I mean, literally any creature's a good top deck now. A land is fine because it means we can crack Clue and potentially draw a 1-drop. Or if not, we can potentially crack Clue and draw a 0-drop. I think we've got pretty decent outs here. Huh, another quest. That's one of the few bad draws we have left. Okay. Well, the nice thing is, because they're not Green Tron, we're not going to get too punished for missing here. Sure. So hopefully as of next time we get to start taking them off those lands. Alternatively, we just get sort of War and Peace and start nugging them, although both our hands are low enough now that sort of War and Peace has kind of lost a bit of its charm. Just get a tapped Temple Garden here. Okay. That deck's really making us dig for this last creature. Veil of Summer is a very good draw, don't get me wrong. I'm very happy to be seeing the Veil of Summer. So this means next turn, hopefully we can draw a creature. Our opponent's going to get Tron active next turn. That really sucks. Sucks that we couldn't Argentum Armor them this turn. So we'll just have to take them off Tron next turn, hopefully, with Veil of Summer back up. Hope they can't do too much with Tron this turn. Yep, they're just passing back to us. That's okay. Gingerbrute. Very happy to see you, buddy. I mean, if they counted this, I'm fine with it. Uh, cast Veil here. Hope they don't have a second counter spell or interactive spell here. Okay. Are they countering my Veil too? I assume it's my Veil that's getting put. No? Oh, their own repeal. That's a very clever opponent. Ooh. Eh. Here's those. Quest for the Holy Relic. So that's pretty good for my opponent. They had the right amount of interaction, I guess. I mean, a little dude is still getting in every turn, so... Well, shut my mouth. Engineered explosives from the, like, 0.5 colors deck. What'd you transmute for, opponent? Walking Ballista. Okay. Okay, play out a quest. Oh, actually. Yeah, we'll play out the Kasali. Oop, that's fine. Get in for one. Take that, opponent. Trying to stop me from having attackers. Huh. That's scary. Big ol' 5/5 ballista, huh? Okay. Seen worse draws. Because now I get to play out my Glinthawk and they have to trade their ballista for both of these to keep me from getting a second cast creature trigger here. I think I'm also okay with how that panned out. I mean, I think my opponent's pretty far ahead right now, but this gives the best chance of potentially staying in the game. Because honestly, they have that much mana that ballista was just a lethal threat. I don't think a fourth counter on our quest mattered that much. Oh my god. Yeah, okay. Game number 3. Do we want to change anything? think I just want to sort of Fire Knights over the Battle Skull. I'm less on the Stoneforge plan, I think. And Pro Blue could be pretty relevant. I think I do want Giant Killer. I don't think Giver of Runes is that relevant. Let's go with that. We'll play first, and we will keep. This is very close to a turn 3 hand. I don't think they have anything that can punish me for playing this on up to turn 1. Turn 2 I'm going to play the Skyfish, replay the Ornithopter, then turn 3, play Self Savior, and literally any creature we can draw over the next 2 turns is good to go with that. That's pretty good. Okay, so they need exactly blue land plus repeal. To bounce our quest. Otherwise, we get our Gentle Armor and start blowing up lands. Okay. Second Urza land and back to us. Awesome. We're doing it. I'm putting it on my Skyfisher so they can't repeal for a single blue to get rid of it. Suppose protect the Skyfisher. Play out a tapped Temple Garden. Pass our opponent. Because yeah, we destroy a land, so this turn the best they can do is get a second mana. Which if they have a repeal, they could honestly bounce an Ornithopter and the Argenta Marble falls off, whereas they won't have the mana to be able to repeal for 2 to get rid of the Skyfisher. Cyclonic Rift? Holy hell. Okay, new plan. Sword of War and Peace is going to kill them quick, hopefully. Okay. Attack with Ornithopter. Hope this connects. Awesome. Play a Ginger Brute. Cool. Suppose I'll just let them scry 2 there, but it's fine. We've got Kasali, which is nice. We've got Skyfisher. So they can't like play any proactive artifact here because Kasali can kind of deal with that. If they deal with my attack here, I get to play the Skyfisher. Okay, Thirst for Knowledge. That's a good sign for us, I think. So they're still dead. They need to get 2 more cards in their hands and I'll be dead to this sort of War and Peace hit. And we got it. Alright. So we went 1-4 overall. Join us for the post-league wrap-up. Alright, so not an ideal result. We went 1-4 there, which I don't think necessarily says anything negative about the deck. We had some okay plays there. I think, we managed to win the last game against the Tron deck, which is always nice. The only match where we didn't manage to win a single game was against Neoform, which is kind of to be expected. I mean, we don't really have like crazy good interaction for like a crazy combo deck like that. Every other match we managed to win at least one of the games. I think I've actually done a bit of testing off camera with this deck, and honestly Lurrus hasn't been impressive at all. I thought he should be nice because, like, again, I get to jump block with like Ornithopter and Memnite, and then turn 3 play Lurrus and replay one of these guys. But honestly, like, more often than not, I just didn't have the mana to be able to cast him. I've got enough high drops to potentially draw into here, so that's something that needs to change. I don't think Lurrus is actually right for this deck. It was interesting testing it out, but another thing to remember actually is that we versed a lot more combo-y style decks, a lot more unfair decks, less of the kind of blue-green Uro control decks and the like Jund style decks that we've actually been seeing with this deck. So I think we are better in those matchups than the combo matchups. We do have the potential in the combo matchups because we do have our own fast combo. I'm not going to attribute those losses to the fact that we changed our sideboard to be a bunch of one-offs. I mean, I think that's kind of what this deck has to do. I think ideally my sideboard, for the most part, would be a bunch of one-offs, but maybe if I'm taking to a serious tournament or whatever for a specific meta, I would go heavier on some of them. Like, if I'm expecting Neoform to be really big, maybe I go up on Containment Priests, or maybe add Paths back into the board or something like that. I think for next week, testing this deck, we are going to find something to replace this slot with again. I have a few ideas, but I think the most important thing is that 3-drop is actually too much. I don't think this deck can really afford to have 3-drop creature. Even with 18 lands, it's still too iffy. Spire of Industry actually punished this a lot. I think I want to test it a little bit more and see if that was just a bit of variance. I don't think I'm ready to cut it because of that. Maybe trim down to 1, I could see. But it's something to keep an eye on because we did actually get punished for that. There was a hand where we should have had a fast quest, but instead I think we actually lost that game because of it, because we couldn't get the quest active as quickly because we actually had to play one of our 0-drop artifact creatures first to turn on the Spire of Industry to be able to cast the quest. And then there was another game, I think it was directly after, where we had to mulligan an otherwise good hand because this was our one land. If we had literally any of our other white producing lands would be fine, but the fact that Spire Industry couldn't produce white hurt us a lot. Everything else felt good. The Ginger Brutes I'm really impressed with, honestly. I don't think they're game breaking for this deck or anything. Previous ones were only like Pure Steel Paladins and Martyr's Souls, and I replaced them with the Lurrus and the Ginger Brutes. I don't think it's like game breaking, but I think assuming this replaced the Pure Steel Paladin slot in that scenario, the fact that it's a 1-drop's good. The fact that it's an artifact count for Glinthawk is really good. Its unblockability comes up a non-zero amount. The game 3 life actually came up. I don't think we necessarily won any games because of it, but we were able to play more because of it. As for the sideboard, I think Pure Steel Paladin's a bit too cute. Oro Champion did a lot of work for us, but I don't think it's really necessary. Selfless Spirit I just never wanted to come in. Like, I was always just happy bringing in Selfless Savior. Remorseful Cleric's kind of whatever. Like, it was good as like soft graveyard hate because it's still just a creature. Cannon is a necessary evil. Tamed Priest a necessary evil. Giant Killer was very impressive, actually. I'm really liking Giant Killer in the side, but I could see running multiples of him potentially. Forge Center was great. I was really happy with that. Like, kind of bleeds between the Auric Champion role and the Selfless Savior role. I'm pretty happy with this for the most part. Most of the times I've used it in the past. Veil of Summer was okay. Like, we only really needed it in that Blue-Tron matchup, and our opponent had enough interaction that it didn't really matter, but it's nice that I got to draw a card. I don't know that I'm that happy dedicating 2 slots to it. Yeah, not 100% sure on that. Kasali was fine. Like, part of the reason I have it in here again is because I've got Luris, so it's got a bit of value there, but like against Tron, we just didn't have time to play it and crack it. I think it's still fine. Soulguide Lantern is fine. Like, I think I'm just happy with this card. I think it just serves a role and it's fine. I think potentially cut Remorseful Cleric and just rely on this for graveyard hate and only for like dedicated graveyard decks, like not just bringing it in because you see a Luris or whatever. As for the swords, Face of Famine never came in, which is really interesting because in so many Stoneblade decks, it's main deckable or it's, you know, just the bee's knees in so many matchups. And I actually think in this deck, we're not too keen on it. I mean, the Pro Green is nice for being able to like get around Primeval Titans and get around the zombie tokens from Feel the Dead with the Pro Black, but we've got flyers for that, so I don't think we need it because we do have like a large amount of flyers, and we've got Ginger Boots too. War and Peace felt good. I liked the ability to bring it in. Like, I think we won that last game against Blue-Tron because we had the Sword of War and Peace. So, very happy with that. Happy with the main deck Fire and Ice. I think this Feast and Famine we could potentially play with this slot a little. But despite the record going 1-4, I was still pretty happy with how the deck performed. I think we've still got a few tweaks to make. I've tweaked this deck up and down for years trying to make it playable in Modern, and Modern's got a lot tougher, but the deck's got a lot more weapons now. So, I mean, the Stoneforge Unban is one of the biggest things I think for this deck, letting it have like a legitimate mid-range plan. But let me know what you think. If you've got any suggestions, let me know. Maybe some cool stuff for the sideboard, maybe something to replace this Luris slot. Maybe ideas about the mana base or something. I mean, this is me trying to kind of have a budget-ish mana base. I could do with a Fourth Horizon Canopy, but I don't own one in paper, so I'm not... This sounds silly, but I'm not too willing to like have my mana base on here be something I can't replicate in paper, because this is the idea behind me testing here, is so I can improve my paper deck and get a bit more play out of it. With that said, I don't own like stuff like Luris or Giant Killer in paper, but they'll be pretty easy pickups, whereas a Fourth Horizon Canopy is a pretty big investment even to this day. I think the Spire of Industries, one of them could come out. I think Shepherd Dunes is just unreasonable. I think the fact that more often than not it's just going to be a pain land means it's not worth... I think I'm going to cut these for sure. Because when is this deck ever getting to 5 mana to be able to activate that ability? And even when it does, like, I'm assuming that's because it's a grindy matchup, so most of my creatures are dead anyway, so it's not going to be a good anthem. I think the downside of it costing a life is too much. But yeah, again, any suggestions, let me know. Let me know what you thought of the league. If there was any games I could have potentially done better in, and you know, maybe got another match win or something, feel free to let me know if there are any egregious misplays there. But otherwise, thank you for watching. Stick around. We've got Sun and Moon every Monday and Quest for the Holy Relic every Friday at noon, Australian Eastern Standard Time. So join me in the comments. Make sure to leave a like, whatever, anything you feel like. And again, thank you for watching. Bye-zy, bye-zy.